mix. Time to turn it up once again. Everything that start gotta end. So don't waste time, get it in. Why wait? Say it tomorrow, but you got today. Put them excuses away. Pick up the pace. If you really want it, then you gotta chase. Hey, I need a whole lot of space. Make some room. I gotta prove that I'm nothing like you. And I'ma do it. If it's in the way, then we going through it. Like a Peloton, gotta keep it moving. Talk is too cheap, you just gotta do it. You ain't gotta like it cause it's stats approve. Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle.
Let's get it.
Only first place finishes, so I seek and destroy every one of my nemesis. My power limitless, and my scorecard is perfect, it don't have no blemishes. No apologies, cause I ain't ya, it's just my nature that makes me a different type of creature. I'm a bitcher, bonafide gamer. Before you play me, better read the disclaimer. I'm that force to be reckoned with. I know your mama didn't warn you, you shouldn't be messing with. You don't compare to me. We're not the same, there's no similarity. Moment of clarity, you should be scared of me. Run all, you'll never get rid of me. So incredibly outdone. If we go to war, I'm the one you can't outrun.
Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle. Just battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle me. When it's time to ball. We back in the field. We ready, it's time. It's nothing but hustle inside of the huddle. You know that I grind. A dangerous mind, a weapon of choice when pushing the line. Go overtime and I won't break when it's crunch time. My end game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. Supreme game, can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Break it back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide. Legendary like legacy. This is our moment, our time. This is our moment. This is our time. Time is now. It's time to rise. This is our moment. This is our time. The time is now. It's time to rise. Yeah. Coming for glory. We ready for war. The city's behind us. We giving you more. We ready whenever. The world is watching. The time is now. No other option. No other way. Play to win the way that we play. Destined for greatness, born to be great, ahead of the game. In front of the pack, leading the way, it's time to reign. The kingdom's here, this is our year. Been to the bottom, ain't nothing to fear, we running the game. Rushing the field for every yard, on every play. Nobody's safe, rise when we fall, but never stay down. The champs is here, doing it for the town. This is our moment, this is our time. The time shot time. Feet in the dirt. Nose to the ground. Like the crack of dawn. You can't stop the shine. Moment after moment. Day after day. It's our time. Lock and loaded, it's time for war. Ha. Tear down, kick in the door. Yeah, I want it all, give me some more. Ha. I want it all, give me some more. I want it all, give me some more. Yeah. Kill 'em all, it's time for war. It's time for war. Like pandemonium, I set it off. Yeah. Sacrifice, I bear the cross. Legendary, I'm a big dog. Hard knock on the front line. Pure blood, my bloodline. Headshots the first time. My aim good, bullseye. Warfare. Don't play fair, don't play fair. You not sure? Don't go there, I'm right here. No fear, I'm ready to go at top speed. No brick wall can block me. No army can stop me. Yeah, I want it all and I can't lose. I came far and I won't stop. This my time, I pay dues. Yeah, it's war time and I won't retreat. I want it all, give me some more. I kill them all, won't taste defeat. Nah. Now bow down at the king's feet. It's time for war. I want it all, give me some more. Kill 'em all, it's time for war. Kill 'em all, it's time for war. It's time for war.
What series is back? It's the Crown Jewel E Late Model Stock Car Series. And Ruggles and team of series officials have brought back series back here tonight. Hopefully everybody had Christmas, getting ready for a happy new year 2023. And for the next 2 nights, we've got some exciting iRacing on LSRTV with the return again, as I mentioned, the Crown Jewel E Late Model Stock Car Series. 150 laps from the Oxford Plains Speedway in virtual Oxford, Maine. We're ready for it, for your coverage here on this Tuesday evening. I'm Wesley Outland, joined alongside, working with him for the first time ever, is Taylor Burris, my color analyst. And as always, punching the buttons for iRacing on LSRTV. He didn't even celebrate Christmas. He didn't have no turkey. He didn't have no ham. I don't even think he opened up any presents. He's been busy the last couple of weeks getting things ready for the new 10-year season of LSRTV iRacing coverage. Charles Wooten in the box. And Taylor, Oxford Plains Speedway, this is just a bad, fast, fun track. We're going to have a fun time here tonight with these guys.
It certainly is, Wesley, and good evening, everyone out there watching here on LSRTV. This track is just the original bull ring here on iRacing, a track that's so fast, so much action can be happening here. You're pretty much just left turning this entire track all the way through every time you're making a lap around this circuit. And of course, we're going to be seeing some great action here. As we know for a fact, this track here was recently updated with the art department here on iRacing, so we get a little bit of that red and white wall that they come on the front straightaway. It's now a nice little blue wall here, so it's great to see iRacing continually to showcase and update some of the great short tracks that are on the iRacing service.
And with you, Taylor, that is a real configuration that was done to the racing facility, an upgrade. They retained the paint. They painted. Hello, they painted their retaining walls blue. Of course, one of the things you'll notice about this place is there is no retaining wall from turn 2 all the way to the back straightaway going to turn 4. The only retaining wall is right there from that nice camera view from turn 4 down the front straightaway. But yeah, just some of the amenities and the things that they have done. Oh yeah, you saw that car fly through the air in your upper right of the monitor. There's the ant hills that you got to look out for as well. I call them the ant hills, the ant poles. They will hit you, no doubt about it. Hey, Kaufman Creative, a new sponsor for the 2022-23 season for iRacing on LSRTV. Gives you your weather conditions, air temp in the sim at 78 degrees, track temp, holy cow, Taylor Burris, 114 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Sun's out, sun's not, sun's out, sun's not. It's like wax on, wax off, and the wind speed's pretty comfortable so far.
It's going to be a hot and slick track out there for these drivers who are having to negotiate this beautiful Oxford Plains Speedway here. Of course, we're getting ready to go into our qualifying format where we'll take about the top 20 drivers before we go into our LCQ, where the top 4 will have a 25-lap chance opportunity to see if they can make it to the big show later tonight.
Yeah, we just want to say thank you so much to Cameron Ruggles and everybody that is involved in the Crown Jewel E-Late Model Stock Car Series in returning back to your home for sim racing. We've done some of their events the last couple of years. They decided to go a different direction for their first 3 or 4 rounds. We actually re-inked their deal 2 weeks ago, but it was just Charles Wooten and his passion and his drive to put out a stellar sim racing broadcast. Was not ready to come back last Tuesday night. He said, let's get through the holiday. Let's get through Christmas. Let me work on our graphics and whatnot, and we'll come back full steam ahead here tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway, and we will do just that. As Taylor reminded you, just about 2 minutes remaining here in this open practice session. There will be qualifying. Qualifying will lock in the top 20 drivers to the 100 feature tonight of the Oxford Speedway. We will then have for you a 20 last qualifier. Taylor Burr at the Hooligan Race. It will be crazy. It will be wild. We'll take, 10, 12 cars, top 4, and that's it.
It certainly is, and at a track where we're going to be seeing the chrome horn come into play big time here at this little bull ring, drivers are going to be giving it 110% when they take that green flag for the LCQ once qualifying comes into play. But for some of these drivers, they're already trying to work their way and making sure they have that right qualifying set to get themselves locked into that top 20. Because once you're in that top 20, it's smooth sailing. You don't have to really worry about too much going on for you.
Yeah, just about under 40 seconds remaining here in this final practice session to try to put down a decent lap to figure your car out and get things ready to go. When we mention this track, it's exciting, it's fun, it's a unique racetrack. We mentioned them light poles with the ant holes, the little ant mounds is what I call them around the racetrack. And here's the deal, Taylor. If one of those cars hit it, like we even seen in practice, you will fly through the air. You will damage your car. Coming at you. Look at that. Woo. That's coming at you. That's pretty cool. You should use that for a commercial.
Well, of course, one thing to keep in mind is also, as we saw right there, that white curbing through the middle of the corners, that's going to be another area where drivers are going to have to be careful and worry about placing their cars when they're trying to set a lap here around this circuit.
Ryan Kuhn and Peyton Howell and so many others are finishing up with their practice sessions, and now we get ready to go to the 10-minute qualifying clock to determine who will set fast time. Remember, as we mentioned, top 20 will advance in. Here comes Carter Russo. He'll be the first guy out of the gate, the 0-2 machine. Now, we try our best, Taylor, to have the correct scoring, time and scoring for SDK matching the cars. But obviously, these drivers can have the option to change their wrap jobs on their cars, and obviously, we see him in the 21 car.
Certainly do see him in the 21 car, as we see the 52 machine of Peyton Howell in that Premier Setups Chevrolet trying to get his first lap up onto the boards right now, as we do have some times coming up onto the clock, as he will slide it right there on his first lap of 14:87 at the moment. Good enough for P1.
Kenny Brady going off track. Yeah, there you go, Kenny Brady. Right now, Peyton Howell, the baby shark, going to the top of the board. Jake Grout, I'm sorry, Brady Cox, Scott Bryant. Here comes Peyton Hamlet on the racetrack. We'll see what he can do. Top 20, as Taylor and I reiterated on, lock themselves in. Look at that run for Hamlet there in the top 5.
Currently about 4/10 off the pace of your current pole sitter Peyton Howell at the moment here. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to improve as Braxton Deweese moves up to P2 with a 15:01.
And Braxton Deweese, no stranger to joining us for iRacing on LSRTV coverage, a former winner of the SMB Cup Series Championship. We'll see what now J.J. Chansey can do, as he is, well, what is he doing? He said, hey, buddy,
well,
you're
off
course.
track.
That's not a nice way to warm up your tires. Oh, and it says the time that's scoring is 2, but he's in the 51. Yeah, he says to heck with this.
Here comes another
Bladen
driver
Edwards
in his
from Florida. You know him pretty well, don't you, Taylor? I think he's from Pensacola.
Yeah, he's from Pensacola. Bladen Edwards, I've raced against him and used to see him compete in other forms of motor racing action, and definitely one to keep an eye on when it comes to super late model racing. Knows his way around it. Definitely going to keep an eye on him to try to go for the pole position here.
Yeah, we'll see what the Premier Racing Toyota can do as he works his way around the racetrack. And you notice they only get one lap to put down a fast time, and that's all you get, 14:9:21, and that'll put him into the top 5 now. As all the while, Howell, Wilkinson, Brady, Edwards, Pileski, Valentine just bumped Pileski to 6th. Cottle, Deweese, Russo, Bryant, your top 10. John Chansey's back out again. Here you go. So J.J. Chansey did not officially take a time, Taylor. He did a reset, and that's why he's on track qualifying now.
He's going to come out of turn number 4 right here, a 15.35, little over half a second off the pace. He's good enough for P16. Not a good time for him, as Aaron Johnson's coming off turn 4 for his first lap.
Yeah, we'll see what Aaron Johnson can do with the car number 78 machine, 15:075. The best lap time here, Aaron Johnson. And again, little better arcing through the turn out of 3 and 4 this time. Will he improve? 15:3:20, and that'll put him at least in the top 12. As all the qualifying rolls on, we're about 6 minutes remaining here. The Seawood driver sets fast time. Deegan Smith on track now in his Ford.
Coming out of turn number 4 for his first flying lap. You see there on timing and scoring, Ryan Kuhn is currently now your new pole sitter. As we see Deegan Smith, a 15.74, good enough for P21. He's your first car on the outside looking in.
How about Ryan Kuhn, man? This guy's a talent, real late models, virtual late models, legend cars. He is somebody to watch, no doubt about it. As Deegan Smith will now stay, let's see, he didn't climb anywhere. He's got to pick it up. Here comes now, I believe, the 03 car. And we'll see now what the 032, Trevor Edwards can do right now. On the bubble is the 20 of Peyton Hamlet. And they've got about less than 5 minutes remaining now as Edwards will come to the line. Working out of 3 and 4. Here he comes, Taylor. We'll see. Well, he got, oh no, I knew he had it trouble. He sideways the car as he arced it off of turn 4. And you could tell the car was going to come out from under him. And he goes around. And I don't even think he was able to crack the top 20 there.
It's safe to say that car was not driving like a Cadillac.
Yeah, that's a boat, if you don't mind me saying. Gonna have to pick it up, no doubt about it. We'll see what Trevor Edwards can do again now here. Is Ryan Kuhn, fast man so far. As Taylor and I mentioned, you lock in the, I was going to say, Taylor, you lock in the top 20. Everybody else is going to go to that last chance race, bud.
Yeah, they certainly are. Currently, the first two who are on the outside looking in is Peyton Hamlet and JJ Chansey, who are the first two cars who are going to be having to go into the LCQ, as now Cody Webster will drop out as James Holzer will take over that 20th spot with the qualifying session, as we see Jamie Graham now going out in the 199 machine.
By the way, Trevor Edwards just cracked the top 10. Look at that. He was improved, and Cameron Ruggles also made himself 6th out of 20.
He certainly has. He's really going to try to stick it up here quite a bit, as we see the Jamie Graham machine heading around the circuit for his first time lap of the event. Out of turn number 2, just about under 4 minutes left to go for him. Plenty of time to set some fast laps here.
Yeah, Jamie Graham, solid black car, white numbers on the 199, and a 15.103. I think he just cracked 17th right now, so he puts him in the top 20. And look at another lap to see if he can climb any further as he comes to the line. That one lap best time will determine him. And will he improve? No, he will not. Slower on lap number 2 in the negative with a 15.278. 15.278, 17th best for the driver there. And I guess he's going for extra laps now, but it doesn't mean anything, as you only get 2 laps on the clock in qualifying. And I guess if you choose to go out there and make some more warm-up laps, you can, but it's all for naught here. So Ryan Kuhn, unofficially, unless something changes, is going to lock himself in the top 20 as the clock is winding down here, Taylor. Less than 3 minutes remaining, and so far we still need about another 10 so cars to pull out of the track to take time. 11 drivers, if they're going to go qualify to make the top 20, you better go now.
Yeah, you got to go now here. We're going to be running out of time. We're waiting for Jimmy Gawker, Chase Pierce, Aiden Millette, Preston DeMello, Stephen Bowden, Justin Crow, Brent Burgess, Jacob Derrick, Kyle Terzak, and Dylan Calbero, who is currently the last cars who have yet to qualify. See, Chase Pierce now is going out on the track in the 07 machine.
Oh, it's the old cliche, nothing like waiting till the last minute. And here comes the Ford, roaring off of the pit lane, the 07 machine of Chase Pierce, that Ford Mustang GT coming to the line. Green flag in the air. He needs to put himself for the top 20. On the bubble is Diggin Smith in the 015. Ryan Kuhn unofficially still fast time in qualifying. Let's see where Pierce will end up. The time to bump is a 14.82, 14.88 for second. How about that? First lap. Not even going to go for a second lap. He cracks the top 10, Chase Pierce does, Taylor.
Well, that's the best way to do it here. He's still got plenty of a little bit of a cushion in case anybody else decides to go out on the track and try to set a qualifying lap. So that is absolutely all he needed to do, and he's going to sit comfortably inside the top 10.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And by the way, 1 minute remaining going on the clock here. In any moment, Barney the iRacing flagman will throw out the checkered flag, and that will end the qualifying session here. And it looks like Ryan Kuhn, flying Ryan Kuhn to the number 72, and the baby shark, Peyton Howell, the 052, Bladen Edwards, couple of Floridians locking in the top 3. Wilkinson, Brady, Ruggles, Valentine, Pileski, Cottle, and Pierce, the top 10. As qualifying is about to come to an end, you got the bottom 10 to lock in those 20 to the show here now.
Currently waiting to see if anybody in these last 20 seconds will be able to make it out on the track. So far, I think it's safe to say there, Wesley, nobody's going to go out on the track here with only 20 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and if you look at the upper left of the monitor on the ticker, you can see the clock down to 10 seconds, so we can actually say now Trevor Edwards, Braxton DeWeese, Carter Russo, Wally Wilson, Scotty Bryant, Aaron Johnson, Jake Kraut, Jamie Graham, Matthew Elsley, and James Holzer are the 20 drivers that will make it in to the 150-lap race coming up here later tonight at the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Cars Series event here tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway on LSRTV. Getting ready now for the last chance qualifier. I'll tell you what, this should be exciting. I know it's going to be a 25-lapper, Taylor, but you've got to give it all you've got to get up in the front, and I think we're going to see a lot of aggressive driving here to make one of those final 4 spots to make the show.
It certainly is, because going around here at Oxford Plains for 25 laps at the blink of an eye just about pretty much for these drivers, especially in these high horsepowered super late models that are about to head out onto the circuit. It's going to be chaos. These drivers are going to wanting to be aggressive in order to try and get a shot of those 4 coveted positions.
The chaos, the mayhem, the excitement that will ensue, I promise you it will be, without a doubt, a very fun one. Here we go. As Ryan Kuhn and Peyton Howell are going to be on the front row, unless they invert the field for the 150-lap event. We're ready now with the field for the last chance qualifier race assembled. A pace car will catch the field here, and we're getting everybody lined up. We'll give you the starting lineup here in just a moment for this 25-lap last chance race. And understanding we're getting ready to give you the starting lineup, so we'll do it the best of our ability. Yeah, it's showing the official lineup for the race. So we're quickly going through the top 10, if you don't mind. And there you see your top 20. Here you go. Here we go with the lineup for the last chance qualifier. You saw the top 10 fly by. The first 10 rows is for the fast qualifiers. And now we go now for row 11, which is actually row 1 for the last chance race. Diggin Smith in the 015 to the outside. Brady Cox in 76. Row number 2 will find Corey Webster in the 91. Peyton Hamlet in the 19. Field begins to roll down. Row number 3, J.J. Chansey in the 2, followed by Andy Tripiano in the 34. And for the next row, row 4, Jacob Derrick in the 88. Steve Bowden Taylor, car 64, your first 4 rows.
In the row 15, or in the next row, we're going to find Justin Crow and Kyle Turzka, who are going to be in the 511. Then it's going to be Jimmy Coker and Preston DeMello in the following row. Next up is going to be Brent Burgess and Aiden Millette. And then rounding out the field is going to be Dylan Calbero, but unfortunately, I only see a few drivers out on the track. Only 5 cars.
Yeah, by the way, Dylan Calabro is the way you say it's a name, Dylan Calabro, and we'll see what will go down here with this pace truck. And there's a lot of drivers that are not here. You're about to be late, or you're going to start the race from the back. One or the other. It's about to go down. It looks like 5 drivers have answered the bell to go for the last chance qualifier. Green flag in the air at Oxford Plains. 25 laps. You see the new scoring ticker. Just some of the new graphics, bells, and whistles that have been done during the Christmas break by producer Charles Wooten. And they're coming to the line. Lap 1 on the board. Diggin Smith leads the opening lap. Brady Cox getting sideways. Goes off track in turn number 1. I don't think we'll see a caution yet. We'll stay green as they go to the back straightaway.
Single file pretty much throughout your top 5 drivers as they try to at least log some laps, especially for drivers such as Deegan Smith and J.J. Chansey. They're pretty much set to have a shot at moving on to the finals, and by the safeness of this ordeal for Andy Tripiano, he's now got a 1-lap advantage over Brady Cox, so it's pretty much just these 4 drivers logging these few laps here.
And just like that, Brady Cox has retired and exited from the race. Deegan Smith up in front, leading the way in the number 015, 25 laps the distance. Only 4 cars remain. And let's be honest here now, Taylor, you're the last 4 cars. You know you're going into the 150-lap race. As you see our aerial coverage presented by LSRTV. Obviously, if you pass more cars, you advance your position in the starting lineup. But let's be honest here. You go up 1 spot because you're only going to start 21st, 22nd, 23rd, or 24th. You're going to be in the show. Don't do anything crazy like J.J. Chansey trying to put a little bumper there to Peyton Hamlet. Or correction, flip-flop that. Just got to be patient right now. You're going to go to the final 4. I wouldn't try to do anything to try to take anybody out or... You've only got 4 cars left on the racetrack. Don't mess up your car.
It's pretty much what it boils down to. Just take care of your equipment, run the race. This is a good opportunity for you to maybe learn what your car can do during the first opening 25 laps. Yes, you only have 4 cars on the track right now, but you can still learn quite a bit as we ride on board right now with that number 51 machine out on track of JJ Chansey. You see that outside lane really not working for him right now as he's going to get into battle with Andy Trupiano, but just has to be so careful to know what you can do, how the car is going to handle during the stage of the race here, as they're going to go still side by side down into turn 3.
Yeah, they're going to go to the bottom of the racetrack and a little aggressive driving, if you will, a little chrome horn almost to Trupiano. Trupiano under attack now by Chansey's car. This is for 3rd and 4th now, as we saw Peyton Hamlet now move from 4th up to the 2nd position. And they work their way back down the front straightaway. 10 laps in, 15 to go in this race. 25-lapper, non-qualifier, last chance race is what I meant to say, to make it in. And right now, your final 4 are these 4 cars. Smith, Hamlet, Trupiano, Chansey on the track now as we're halfway.
They certainly are as they work their way through. For Deegan Smith, this is a good opportunity for him to learn how clean air will be beneficial for him during the chances he can make ways through the field, and also maybe make some adjustments to his own car when he goes out there on the racetrack for the feature race here as soon as we wrap this up here. What he can try and do as we pick up the number 15 machine right now, catching up to the lap car of Brady Cox to put him another lap down, making it 5 laps for him here momentarily.
Yeah, just got a really comfortable drive right now, sitting in here, getting ready to come to the line. It'll be 10 laps to go. When they come back to the line, it'll be on board with Deegan Smith. You see him as the leader, and he's actually about trying to catch one of these cars, the Brady Cox, and put him a lap down, who might have been in the hunt at the beginning of things, but by lap number 2, things went south for that car. And maybe he's just trying to get some seat time now, just trying to figure this car out to be better here. Oxford Plains another day. 10 to go, into single digits now. 9 remaining. Smith under the lap car of Cox as they work off 2.
Working their way down, you ride on board here with Deegan Smith, just being smooth, consistent, not making any mistakes. You got to be careful when you come down that front straightaway, because the car, depending on how you get the inputs, wants to drift up right to that outside wall if you are not careful. So we're probably going to see that happen a couple times here in our feature race later tonight as he hits the curbing right there in the middle of the corner.
I can say the next round of the Crown Jewel late model stock cars. I'm Wesley Outland, Taylor Burris alongside. Charles punching the buttons, and this is iRacing on LSRTV, covered by Kaufman. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh my, hold on there. Oh, and that's what I was trying to tell you. I don't know if Hamlet should be that aggressive. You know you're in that 2nd spot. I don't know if I'd try to run after Deegan Smith to try to get the win. I would just ride and drive right now for that matter, but that lap car might be giving them a fit.
It certainly is, and it's very difficult. You got to be careful. There's only 4 of you going to make it, and there's 4 of you only in contention for this. Why you want to do that? I understand maybe trying to learn certain things you want to try and test out, but still, you don't want to make mistakes in this race here.
No, you don't. Not at this time frame right now. I mean, it's just too early. Let's be honest. This is too early. You use this 25 laps to kind of get yourself acquainted with how you can do a quarter of the distance of the event. Figure out where you're going to be at the 150 lapper. Obviously, Hamlet driving back down, Smith again. And obviously he wants to get a heat race win. He's right there on his back doors. They go to the back straightaway. It's 2 laps to go. He's going to get one more shot at him, Taylor, as he works him out the corner. He tried to go for the bump and run. He couldn't get there. White flag.
One more time around for Deegan Smith, and he is smooth sailing for the time being. Out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. Peyton Hamlet really trying to see if he can send it deep in turn 3.
Yeah, final time. Deegan Smith holds off the clutches of Hamlet. A couple of Fords will finish in the number 1 and 2 position. And that is the way they will wrap them up here in the last chance qualifier. And Smith, Hamlet, Trupiano, Chansey, those 4 drivers are going into the 150 lap feature race coming up here next with the Crown Jewel late model stock E-Series from Oxford Plains Speedway. There is a look at the results Smith the winner over Hamlet. There's a rundown. Brady Cox 4 laps down when the race ended. And all the other drivers that were invited to come run did not. Pack her up, load it up, and we'll see what happens as they'll join those 4 drivers with the other 20 that made it in from qualifying earlier this evening here at Oxford Plains Speedway. Hey, our broadcast coverage is brought to you by the Press Box Motorsports Podcast, the new official podcast of LSRTV, coming to Facebook and YouTube starting in January 2023. Tune in and join the discussion as we talk about the latest hot topics live, if not live. Remember, it'll be available for replay on all podcast outlets and forms. And also, Kaufman Creative. When you need a quality website at a reasonable price, Kaufman's Creative is the place to go. From small sim racing leagues to the NASCAR teams, Brandon Kaufman has you covered. That's Kaufman Creative. We're stepping away. We're back with more coverage. The Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series back. iRacing on LSRTV, and the 150-lap race is next when we return from virtual Oxford, Maine.
If you think you better, then battle me. If you really with it, then battle me. Just battle me. If you think you better, then battle me. Back up in the mix, time to turn it up once again. Everything that start gotta end, so don't waste time, get it in. Why wait, say it tomorrow, but you got today. Put them excuses away, pick up the pace. If you really want it, then you gotta chase. Hey, I need a whole lot of space, make some room. I gotta prove that I'm nothing like you, and I'ma do it. If it's in the way, then we going through it. Like a Peloton, gotta keep it moving. Talk is too cheap, you just gotta do it. You ain't gotta like it cause it's stats approved. Only one way, gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe, plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better, then battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better, then battle.
Let's get it. Only first place finishes, so I seek and destroy every one of my nemesis. My power limitless, and my scorecard is perfect, it don't have no blemishes. No apologies, cause I ain't you, it's just my nature that makes me a different type of creature. I'm a bitch, bonafide gamer. Before you play me, better read the disclaimer. I'm that force to be reckoned with. I know your mama didn't warn you, you shouldn't be messing with. You don't compare to me. We're not the same, there's no similarity. Moment of clarity, you should be scared of me. Run all, you'll never get rid of me. So incredibly outdone. If we go to war, I'm the one you can't outrun.
Only one way, gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe, plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better, then battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better, then battle. Hustle inside of the huddle, you know that I grind. A dangerous mind, a weapon of choice when pushing the line. Go overtime and I won't break when it's crunch time. My end game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. Supreme game, can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Break your back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide. Legendary like legacy. This is our moment, our time. This is our moment. This is our time. Time is now. It's time to rise. This is our moment. This is our time. The time is now. It's time to rise. Yeah. Coming for glory. We ready for war. The city's behind us. We giving you more. We ready whenever. The world is watching. The time is now. No other option. No other way. Play to win the way that we play. Destined for greatness. Born to be great. Ahead of the game. In front of the pack. Leading the way. It's time to reign. The kingdom's here. This is our year.
We welcome you back to coverage of the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car E-Series iRacing on LSRTV. I am Wesley Outland. Taylor Burris is alongside. And we get ready now for 150 laps at the virtual Oxford Plains Speedway. Taylor, qualifying was intense. The last chance qualifier, even though we only had 4 or 5 cars, that was entertaining. What do you take for those 4 drivers to try to get Ryan Kuhn or get Bladen Edwards? Some of these fast cars, you got 150 laps, but those laps, though it sounds like a lot, it will fly by quickly on this small track here at Oxford Plains, Taylor.
It certainly will. So one of the things I have to say about this for these drivers who are going to be starting outside the top 20 or even maybe outside the top 15 for the most part is patience. Yes, this race is going to go by very quick with 150 laps, but if you show a little bit of patience, know when to pick and choose your battles when the race gets started, you can guarantee yourself a working your way up to the field very slowly. Find the opportunity. Wait for that driver ahead of you to maybe make a mistake. Maybe his car gets a little too tight or a little too loose coming off corner exit. You can dive it on in there to the inside of your driver or your competitor and set yourself up for a really good passing opportunity on any one of the 2 entries into turn 1 or into turn 3. That is going to be key for some of these drivers here. And if you want to have your chance to go up against Ryan Kuhn or Brandon Wilkinson or even, of course, Bladen Edwards or even, of course, Baby Shark himself, as we see one of the high-flying action cars here at Oxford Plains go at it, is going to be making sure you have to be patient, but also be ready to use that chrome horn when the time comes.
Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely see how that all transpires and watch that 150-lap race. It should be a good one. The qualifying, again, top 20, locked to man Ryan Kuhn, a setting fast time. Along with, of course, Bladen Edwards on the outside of the front row, Peyton Howell, all those drivers. We'll find out if there's an invert. It's been so long since we've done the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series. I believe there's an invert with the top 20 plus the 4 drivers. So the top 4 inverted, the top 4 from the last chance qualifier from right on back will then go back to their spots originally. But also... will monkey wrench, if you will, Taylor, in the way things will go for the race. I don't know, end of the invert.
Yeah, it's going to make it a little bit interesting in how they invert because, of course, with that invert, it's going to jump the field up a little bit. It's going to put some of the faster guys towards the back half of the field, some of the slower drivers up towards the front, and that's just going to cause a little bit of a fun and excitement for us to bring you here on LSR TV as we get ready for the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series, ready to go here. About 10 minutes left in warm-up before we turn them loose.
Yeah, this is going to be a really exciting time here at Oxford Plains Speedway, and again, this series had already launched for the season for 2022-23 on another network, and we just recently got them back again. So, again, we're excited to be back a part of the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series on iRacing on LSRTV. And by the way, I've just been informed, just letting us know, breaking news. Whoa, look at that car flipping down the back. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. We just saw that car flipping off the ant mounds. Yeah, you're exactly right. Watch out for those ant hills, those mounds, those tire places, if you will, the ant mounds are. You hit them, you'll fly through the air like we just saw for the backstretch camera to 3. Understanding that 11 is the invert, and because of that, it will put the driver of Edwards on the pole. Trevor Edwards, the 032. Trevor Edwards, by the way, will be on the invert on the pole for the race coming up next. How about that? 11 cars. Ryan Kuhn will start. 11 Edwards. Trevor Edwards, remember the problems he had in qualifying? He'll now start on the pole. That's going to be fun. We're ready to go. We're glad you are as well. 150 laps. Oxford Plains Speedway. And let's give you the starting lineup. As we mentioned, the invert was 11. Trevor Edwards on the pole, the 032 to the outside. Josh Cottle in the number 13. Row 2 will find James Pileski in the 093. Eli Valentine in the 026. Row 3, Cameron Ruggles in the 52 to the outside. Chase Pierce in 07. Row 4 we'll find here at Oxford Plains Brandon Wilkinson in the 56. Bladen Edwards, the 072. And your top 10. There's the baby shark, Peyton Howell, and the fast qualifier, Ryan Kuhn, the 72. Starts row 5. Halfway through the lineup, row 6 will be Braxton DeWeese, Carter Russo. There you go, your first 6 rows here at Oxford Plains. Taylor.
Going to be in row number 7 is the 69 of Wally Wilson with Scott Bryant in 14th position. Moving on to row 8, we're going to find Aaron Johnson and Jake Grout in the 16th position. 17th position is Jamie Graham with Matthew Elsley Jr. in the 18th position. Rounding out your top 20 is James Holzer and Deegan Smith, your winner in the last chance qualifier. In the 21st position in row number 11 is Peyton Hamlet with Andy Trupiano in that beautiful number 34 machine, that black machine. And then JJ Chansey and Brady Cox, 24th position. Preston DeMello did not take the grid here, so we only have 24 cars out on track as planned.
Yep, 24 drivers ready to go. 150 laps, I believe. Caution laps do count in the effort. However, they will not finish under a caution. I believe it's 2 or 3 line checker if necessary. Ready for the iRacing truck. The pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to fill the crown jewel that Oxford Plains is green. And we are underway. That's a nice way to give them a sound off as the green flag flies in the air coming off of that first turn. How about that, Taylor? 24 cars strong, and the thundering virtual horde sends them off into turn number 2.
As we watch on here comes Trevor Edwards to hold on to the race lead. Clean air is king for him right now as we have trouble. The 199 is over in the anthills.
Yes, no caution yet. No caution yet. Can he get back rolling? He will. As that's Jamie Graham with a problem as the rest of the field bonsais him through 3 and 4. He'll clear by him, and we'll still stay under the green flag as Edwards still the man out in front. Pileski in second. Look at this battle now. Going on to the top 5 of the top 10. Howell, Valentine, Cottle, DeWeese. Hot, heated battle working into the corner out of 4.
You certainly are, as Cottle's trying to hold on to that outside lane as you work his way through. You ride on board with him. Josh Cottle holding on to the top 10. Really struggling, though, to get that outside momentum working for him. As there you see the 69 of Wally Wilson pick up a spot. He is in the sucker hole pretty much. He's going to start dropping back positions. He's got to find a way to get to the inside.
Yeah, trying to clear by the machine of Johnson there. The 78 machine, Aaron Johnson, clear a path. Cottle under attack as now Chase Pierce clears by him. So does Ryan Kuhn. And falling back badly is Cottle's car as everyone else now finally reeling him in. Bladen Edwards, Carter Russo all trying to run him down as well. And 6 laps of 150. Good solid drive, and all the while Trevor Edwards is the man that is leading the way. Got about a quarter of a second back on the driver of Pileski. Ruggles, how about Cameron Ruggles as we watch more great racing going on? Correction, that's actually the 32 car. There's Ruggles, I'm sorry. He is starting to make a run for Edwards, and he's got Wilkinson, Howell, all these guys coming up front quickly to the front. Believe it or not, Taylor, we're already 10 laps in here at the Oxford Plains event.
Already a blink of an eye, and we're making progress through tonight's racing action here. Your top 10 is starting to get a little bit single file, trying to get into a rhythm, but you have about a 6-car breakaway from the rest of the pack as they head off into turn 3.
Yeah, they work off the corner again, as Taylor just reiterated on. They're all single file, and to be honest with you, Taylor, I've been to this track. I've seen this track in real life, and obviously you check out the Racing America coverage of what the Oxford Plains Oxford 250, one of the crown jewels of late model stock, super late model racing provide. And bottom line is we watch this battle now and tell between Ryan Kuhn, Braxton DeWeese going on. You notice you got to use the bumper. You got to use the chrome horn. You got to fight your way if you want to get through the pack, because for the most part, Oxford Plains don't be in a single file racetrack. Look at them all catfishing on the bottom back one.
They certainly are, and as you pointed out, Ryan Kuhn, who's one of the strongest drivers on the iRacing service, collecting over 2,000 wins, an iRating of over 10,000. He has definitely made his mark here in the world of iRacing, most notably for his short track career here on the service, collecting multiple divisional and championships overall on the iRacing service in the short track industry, and has showcased it here tonight as he's going to try to work his way up to the field. Yeah,
hands down, Ryan Kuhn. Here you see the fast qualifier up to 8th now, as we see this battle now between Cottle, DeWeese, and Russo ensuing in the back of the top 15. This is in the snakes patch, if you will, as the leaders roar by. Back to the start-finish line, 150 laps. I know it sounds like a lot, but we're already putting in close to 20 laps in this race, and I'm proud of these guys. I don't want to jinx anything, Taylor, but this has not been yellow flag central. These guys are getting in, they're riding, knocking laps off. This is what you got to do. To be at the end of the race, you must first finish the race, and that's exactly what they're doing right now. I love the mindset by these guys in the early going.
Certainly is, and one thing that these drivers need to realize too, tire conservation. They got to take care of their equipment in the early stages. That way they have that little extra when it comes to the last few laps of the race later on. May not seem like it's going to be happening right now, but them taking care of their equipment, saving their tires. You see a couple of them not really pushing the effort, really. Same things such as like Trevor Edwards, James Pileski, Cameron Ruggles. They're really not pushing the effort. They're just trying to keep pace, run their race here at this stage of the race, and then when it really counts, hopefully they have enough to keep them up towards the front of the field.
Yeah, hands down, just being patient, if you will, and that's the name of the game. As we watch now, Wally Wilson under attack. Wally to the inside, to the outside, gets passed by Cottle. He's got Johnson and DeWeese going after him now. Bottom of the racetrack, Johnson on the inside. He'll go and follow DeWeese's car. Back off into turn number 1 and 2. As also now Bladen Edwards is trying to climb into the top 15. By the way, Ryan Kuhn, fast qualifier, up to 6th, outside the top 5. 20 laps into this race, and they're rocking and rolling here at the Plains.
They certainly are. Here you're on board with the 78 of Aaron Johnson, right now in 13th position, trying to keep up with Carter Russo in the 021 machine as they try to work their way through single file, but you see just how much throttle input you're hearing that car get in, and how much wheel input as well. He hasn't even straightened the wheel up one bit yet since he struck the green flag earlier today.
Yeah, it's awesome watching this onboard camera to kind of see that there is a little bit of banking, if you will, Taylor. It's not very banked like Bristol or obviously Southern National or, you know, one of those types of racetracks, but it's a little banking in the turns. But this is more progressively a flat track here at Oxford Plains Speedway. But that gyro cam goes to show you there's a little banking there. A little banking is now Bladen Edwards is trying to run him down. You see from the,
trouble.
Oh, we got trouble. Up against the outside wall, just past those cars. We got a wreck.
It's a 26 and the...
Go ahead, buddy.
I was going to say the 26 got together with Wally Wilson in the 69. So I believe that was Eli Valentine, and it was indeed in his Solid Rocks machine. Tough break for both of them getting together.
Well, caution will fly for the first time in the race around lap number 25. So we got a 25-lap race in, and the caution coming out. There's the Solid Rock Carriers, number 26 machine, Eli Valentine. Hey, big shout out, by the way, to people that I know in the real racing world. And I think it's awesome now to see him on iRacing as well. Kirk and Lynette Ipock, Solid Rock Carriers. Thank y'all so much for what you do for the world of racing, whether it's virtual or reality now. Here's your look of the replay of what happened to the Wally Wilson and Valentine machine. Valentine may be able to scamper away, but not that much damage on the Solid Rock Carriers car. Wally Wilson, though, might have a lot more damage to boot. Let's watch it one more time, and you give us your perspective of what's about to go down here next lap by Taylor Burris.
It looks like here as they come off the corner, Wally is trying to set him up. He gets a good run off turn number 2, sends it down on the inside. I'm wondering if they hit the curbing maybe a little bit. Right there, nope. It looks like Wally trying to clear him, and there's the contact sending him up into the racetrack, or up into the outside wall.
Valentine wasn't lifted. Valentine wasn't lifted, if you see that, Taylor. He wasn't lifted.
He was not lifted whatsoever. That was his spot. He was going to hold on to it as best that he can, and of course, for Eli Valentine and Wally Wilson, they're going to receive the dreaded EOL penalty.
30 laps into this race. Remember, caution laps do count, but we had a pretty solid 26-lap green flag run before the caution flag fell. Let's give you the rundown now. Trevor Edwards, there you see his car, 32 on the invert of 11. He is taking advantage of this opportunity, and right now his machine, the Ford Mustang GT, up in front, leads the way. James Pileski in the number 2 spot. By the way, there is the Press Box Motorsports Podcast Top 5 with Howell, Ruggles, and Wilkinson, your top 5. We're back from Oxford Plains in just a moment.
Your CRN, my CRN, our CRN. We are CRN. The Community Radio Network now and the new WCRN 87.9 FM. And still always anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
As your top 5 again from the Press Box Motorsports Podcast. And yeah, we're ready now for the green flag to come back out in the air on the restart for the Crown Jewel Late Model Stocky Series from Oxford Plains. Cautions, precautions, will it or will it not? Hold it together. What a save. They got it. They're still bumping and grinding to the back straightaway, and they're still somehow keeping it straight, narrow, even though they're sideways. No caution as they come back to green, and a jinx it as the yellow flag will now be unfurled. Oh man, was that some intense racing on the restart there. And honestly, Taylor, I figured we were going to see that.
I have to agree with you on that as well, Wesley. I knew for a fact we were seeing 3 wide action going into the corner. So that ought to tell you that that's not a good sign to see happen here, as we're looking to see what was the reason for that caution. Could not find it out there on the track, honestly.
So, Taylor, I'm understanding that 2 cars went off the racetrack on the back straightaway. We're still trying to get clarification on who they were, but we're not able to find, per se, any wreck. So we'll reset and try this again.
You have one car down on pit. Well, I do see Eli Valentine has made his way down on pit road, trying to see if he can maybe fix some of the damage. He's got quite a bit of a nose damage right there. The front nose is a little bit crinkled up a little bit, so as he now exits off the pit road, so try to see what damage he could repair during the race in order to stay on the lead lap. He rejoins the track in 21st position.
There you go. So, by the way, is the Crown Jewel Choose car back out there again? Did I just see that, Charles? Is it back? Is it? Yeah, here it comes. Look at this. I love this because you don't hit the car, but you choose inside and outside. And I believe the last time I was told Caleb Hall was the driver of that car, the race director. Whoever the race director is, Okay, I'm understanding it's DeMello, Dustin DeMello. It's called the Choose Car. And I think it's pretty darn cool, okay? So don't hit the Choose Car, okay? It's like a cone, except it's a big automobile. And in a few moments, that Choose Car is going to come out on the racetrack, rolling with the rest of the field. And when they come up on that car, I love this idea. Me and Cameron Ruggles laughed about it at Carteret County Speedway at the Race of Champions. But I love this thing here. Look at it. Oh my. Do you know how to drive?
I think he's out there having a little fun.
What is he doing? Okay, well, here we go. Oh, we're going backwards here. Choose. Inside, outside. You got to choose. Don't hit him head on. Oh my. Oh, wow. Oh, God, that's so close. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Inside, outside. Inside, outside. Don't hit the car. You hit the car, you get a penalty, I believe is what I was told. You can't hit the car. And nobody hit the car, Taylor Burris. How about that? Now get off the track. Your services are done.
All right, Preston, your time. He was out there having a little bit of fun, I hate to say. But with that, that'll give Carter Russo a chance to start on the front row with Trevor Edwards. This is going to be exciting to watch.
I love the new Choose Car. I love that. Nobody hit the car. We're ready to come back to green here. Lap number 40 complete this time by as the green flag unfurls here at Oxford Plains on the restart. Closing in on 110 laps to go. And let's see how they hold it together. 2 caution flags. There's a little bumping down to the inside.
Trouble. There goes 52 off the track.
You got cars going off track.
That's Peyton Howell.
Oh no, the baby shark goes off road. That's bland. No, we got another one sideways. And there is big trouble off of turn number 2 now. And the caution is down again. Well, I don't know what you call the caution for. Taylor, do you call it for the cars off the track you mentioned or for the pile up in turn 2?
Well, this is what we're going to call it for as we see the contact happening towards the back half of the field. You see it with Bladen Edwards and several others as a couple of cars go towards careening the outside wall. Hard hit for the 93 machine as he will fall back. And then there you see the 34 of Andy Tripiano, who made his way from the LCQ. Unfortunately, hard contact to the outside wall.
Yeah, let's go on board now with Trippiani, and we'll see a replay here. A lot of contact there with the 78 of Aaron Johnson and others. And I tell you what's so frustrating here, he was right in the top 10 a moment ago before all this happened. He was right in the top 10, top 12 before this big wreck happened for Trippiani. He was climbing his way to the field here, Taylor.
He certainly was. He was taking heed and learning a lot from that LCQ and making his way. Now, unfortunately, with how much damage he has to the nose of that machine, it'll be a little bit more difficult for him. We'll see if he tries to make his way to get some damage repair, but I don't know with how much of that nose damage is crumpled up. It's going to cause a little bit of issues to the radiator and possibly overheat the car, definitely, as the run progresses.
Man, I'm a fan of the Choose Car. Would you love to see something like that done in real life?
I think it brings a lot of fun. And you know for a fact the drivers who are going to be doing, whether it be in late model racing to the highest form of NASCAR per se with a Choose Cone, I'm pretty sure the drivers would give a little bit of a scare to whoever's behind the wheel of the Choose Car.
Yeah, let's get away with the from the orange diamond. Let's just on the racetrack. Let's just get a Choose Car out there and hope you're brave enough not to hit it.
You gain an extra 2 spots by how close you wait to make your decision.
Oh yes. Edwards, Kuhn, Russo, Pierce, Wilkinson, top 5. Again, big thanks for joining us. Broadcast coverage brought to you by the Press Box Motorsports Podcast and Kaufman Creative. iRacing on LSRTV. Hey, can I ask you this question, Taylor? You're a big announcer guy like I am as well, man. What do you think about the rumors that supposedly NASCAR might be moving into an Eastern-Western conference to determine the championship playoffs next year, or at least by 2024? Some of the rumor mills that's being talked about it.
I mean, with it really kind of goes back to some of the old days with, the old East-West series of the K&N series. And really, it's kind of something that could work, But also, if you're thinking about it, when you want to have the best names in NASCAR go head-to-head, you want to put them on all the tracks that every fan loves to go see. It's a tall order, but if it works, great. But still, there's something about just 40-some cars going all across the country and racing instead of this conference-style racing. It's a little bit speculative. We'll have to wait and see. And that's my biggest thing is, like, everyone said the same thing when it came to dirt racing for the NASCAR Cup Series. You have to just wait and see if they put on a good show.
And as they come back for the restart, off the record, this was something that the great Bill France wanted to work on back in the 70s and 80s. As Taylor mentioned, it was something that was an idea of NASCAR. And I think it's something that they might implement in celebration of the 75th anniversary diamond year of NASCAR in 2023. Green flag going back in the air. We are 50 laps in, 100 laps to go. Taylor is the field rip roars to the corner with Edwards, Kuhn, Russo, Pierce, and Wilkinson. Your top five. You're taking the opening 50 laps.
Opening 50 laps, we already see how quickly Ryan Kuhn has worked his way up through the field after starting outside of top 10. He's now in the mix. Trevor Edwards, he was struggling, didn't have the best qualifying, but with him up towards the front of the field, clean air is king. And for everyone else, that bottom line is the key to trying to make up time or to stay ahead of your competition.
Yeah, very good, solid run right now as we see Cameron Ruggles battle up on the outside. Jake Grout, Braxton DeWeese coming after him. All this transpiring as we're under 100 laps to go, working lap 54 of 150 as we bring you back to coverage of iRacing on LSRTV from the Oxford Plains Speedway. Tate Burris, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten punching the buttons on our broadcast production, making it sound as debonair and look crystal clear as we can on this December 27th, 2022. Just a couple of more days until the new year. A new start, a new reset for everybody around the world, whether it's in virtual, reality, personal life, your job. A new season, a new reset is always January 1st, 2022. Make yours a successful, prosperous, and best one. And of course, we move into 10 consecutive seasons of not only the Northwest Racing Series for Cup and Truck, but also 10 years now coverage of iRacing on LSR TV. And one of the big leaders of it going on into the corner. Here you see now Johnson and Cox. Remember Cox? Problems in the race somehow, some way. He's got a good and solid top 10 run here. He's coming after Braxton DeWeese off turn number 4.
He's going to try to get right to the back bumper of that number 15 machine. Brady Cox, who was one of the final drivers to clinch his spot into this 24 feature race. He's now right there on the cusp of it. He's going to try to just take care of his equipment, but also he was able to avoid all the chaos that happened ahead of him. That's the importance of a short track race and showing patience, but also as he now gets, we jinxed him.
Yeah, and here comes everything unloading off of turn 4. Valentine wrecked again. Correction, that's the 25 involved again. Off of turn number 4. It started with, well, Scott Bryant and you see, we need to pick up where our buddy was, where that battle was happening, and then all of a sudden things just unglued from there.
And it was a little further ahead.
Yeah, that's it right there. Yes, in front of Brady Cox, I know that much. And here you see the 25, he in the wall. It was the red and black car. It was the red and black car. We saw the contact from there. It might be able to be visible from Cameron Ruggles' view. I think it was him right there. Working on getting the replay. By the way, for some of the people in the broadcast watching, oh, well, it's that red and black car right there. He started it. He's the culprit, not him, the other car. We're trying to find it for you. He might have helped. Okay. We're going to look at it one more time here. And Taylor, you give me your analysis of it. Just hard short track racing.
It was just hard short track racing, and up ahead there, you're right on board with Scott Bryant, but up ahead,
right there
you see the contact with the 15 of Braxton DeWeese, and then he'll collect the 51 hard contact into the inside wall. Just a tough break, but
whoever
that 51
the 51
machine
was, and I believe unofficially that's J.J. Chansey. If we could pick up J.J. Chansey in the 2 car real quickly on the replay, that will be the driver. That was the cause of the caution. Chansey, it says he's in a 2 car. He's actually in 51 on the broadcast. Now watch this. We ran him down here. Look at this. Oh. Little zing and little zang and nowhere to go.
From the looks of it, he went up the racetrack just a little bit. That opened the door for the 15 machine. Braxton DeWeese, he thought he could send it into the inside a little bit. Unfortunately, he could not get that pass complete because then you saw Chansey come down, and then, as we saw, chaos ensued.
Where is the choose car? Choose car, where are you? Oh, choose car is already in and out. Well, we were trying to find you extended replays. The choose car had already done its job, so maybe the next caution we'll be able to show it to you one more time. I find it very entertaining. 10 laps away, by the way, to halfway in the Oxford Plains Crown Jewel for the late model stock car series tonight. Green flag back in the air. We're back to it again with Edwards on the restart. Sits the invert on 11. He's been the man up in front. Russo, Kuhn, Pierce. By the way, remember Ryan
trouble
Kuhn,
in turn
fast
3.
qualifier, punt to Pierce. Moves him out of the way. That's Ruggles. That's Russo. And they're not done yet. Look who's in the middle. Andy Tripiano. And they're 3 wide. They don't do that at Oxford Plains that way. But they got it done here.
He certainly did. Ryan Kuhn already putting the chrome horn there on Carter Russo, sent him up the track, and then more trouble for Carter Russo as he fell further and further back. He's out outside the top 10, trying to get back around Peyton Hamlin of that 19P machine.
They were just fighting for it like it was the last croissant on the Christmas table. No crumbs necessary. And they'll keep going 3 wide again. Off into the turn. Look at Peyton Howell. I call him the baby shark, and he's not afraid to battle his way in there. Look at him coming.
Got a little bit of work to do. He's right now trying to get himself situated. He's got Josh Cottle up ahead of him. You're right on board with the Premier Sims Racing setup shop of the Peyton Howell. Running some really consistent laps in this stage of the race here. Car's starting to fall off quite a bit. Not seeing any of those 14-second brackets here. In fact, for anybody out there on the circuit, nobody broke into the 14-second brackets for their best laps here. 15.13 for Ryan Kuhn was the fastest lap so far with this race, as we still look back from, of course, Baby Shark, Layden Edwards. Or Peyton Howell, I should say. My apologies.
That's our buddy Peyton Howell. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Look at this Russo, Tripiano now back at the top 10. Hey, how about Tripiano, by the way, back in the top 10 as we're watching this fierce battle ensue. Carter Russo getting by Peyton Howell for this spot to crack the top 10 again. And we're coming up on halfway as well. Carter Russo. Carteret County AutoZone, I believe, was the... No, I'm sorry, that's Corbett Concrete. Never mind. My producer got in my ear there for a second. Corbett Concrete. But I was going to say, though, Andy Tripiano, by the way, Taylor, up to the top 10. Even after having problems a moment ago, he's right back in the saddle again, doing good.
He certainly is. He's sitting in that 9th position. He's got Carter Russo up ahead of him, who was up towards the front of the field at one point. Now stuck mired in the heart of the top 10 as they try to negotiate back into turn 1. You saw Russo being a little bit defensive to keep Tripiano behind him as they work their way, staying about half a lane lower on the front on those straightaways here. Now here's the chrome horn. Tripiano pushes him up the racetrack.
Yeah, Tripiano says, okay, Russo, I gave you groom. I'm going to move you out of the way. He moves him out of the way, clears him out of the way. Peyton Howell says, I'm going to bite you. He clears him, and there's contact. Wilson Russo, get into it. So does the 72 of Edwards. They make contact. They're still sideways. They're dirt tracking off turn 4. And now he goes spinning down the racetrack. Peyton Hamlin, the 19, up the speedway. And he still kept it going. What a save and no caution. Holy cow.
Holy cow, indeed. And I'm pretty sure for Peyton Hamlin, it's time for him to drive angry because he just got punted out of the way and now has to fight his way back up through the field. He sits a 19th, 8 seconds back. He's got a lot of work to do.
I just cannot believe what we just saw. It could have been a yellow flag in 3 or 4 parts of the spectrum at turns 1 and 2, and there's not even anything going on except just good hard racing. But you can tell the second half of this race is underway, and Taylor, no doubt about it, they're going to get aggressive down the stretch.
They're going to get more and more aggressive. That chrome horn's going to come into play even more so than what it already is. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. You're in for a ride.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This is going to be fun and exciting to decide what will transpire here as we are continuing to watch this great racing action going on here with all these drivers on the racetrack. No doubt about it. Just exciting with Edwards on the invert of 11. He has done everything he needs to do to put himself in a nice, comfortable spot. And how about right now? Sitting in the number 2 position as qualifier, Ryan Kuhn. The question is, when does he run him down? When does he make the pass for the lead and put himself as the fast qualifier? Now, Taylor Burris to win the race here as we approach lap 90.
Well, he's doing exactly what he needs to do right now. Just keep up with the pace that Trevor Edwards is running. In fact, last time by, they ran identical all the way down as far as you can go times last time around, and they're still going to keep on going at it, trading fast lap after fast lap, and they are going to keep on with this pace that they're doing. You got to be patient, wait for that time, feel like you got to wait for Trevor to make a mistake, but if he doesn't, be prepared to see Ryan Kuhn use that chrome horn. He ain't afraid to use it tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, a comfortable ride right now he's doing. He's making everything just work in his favor, staying out of trouble, being consistent, no doubt about it, having a good run, a solid run, a competitive run. And those are the things that you need to do to put yourself in the win column, hands down, as this race does approach here again. The second half underway, ready to see what these guys can do. And all the while, what a performance as lap 90 goes on the board. Trevor Edwards, the man leading the way, but for how long? Ryan Kuhn is coming after him, no doubt about it.
He certainly is. Ryan Kuhn is just taking his time. He's trying to find that small little niche in the armor of Trevor Edwards to see if he can get by him sooner, but also just not putting too much pressure to where he ends up using the tires that he has on his number 72 machine. As they work through the middle of the corner, you got the 07 of Chase Pierce in the catbird seat. In case these two get to battling, it'll bring Chase Pierce into the mix.
Look at now, Edwards and Kuhn. I just wanted you to savor the sound of those cars for just a moment, as it looks like he is just reeling them in, inside and outside. And here comes the Everett's Auto Parts, number 72, Ryan Kuhn, closing in. Here's the battle cam, onboard cam. I thought that looked pretty sharp the way that looked. The onboard cam, the battle cam. And look at this now, Edwards on board with Kuhn. He is running him down. And I'll tell you what, also, Taylor, lap cars are in the way. You gotta wonder, as we approach triple digits on the scoreboard in a century grind here at Oxford Plains, will that become a very deciding factor of who's gonna win this race here now?
It certainly is going to be a factor. These drivers here are trying to find their way to make sure they have that opening. And lap traffic coming up here, it's going to choose to see how these drivers are going to have to negotiate. The drivers up ahead, they want to try to stay on the lead lap in case a caution comes out. But also for the drivers who are leading this race, they want to try to see if they can get a lap car put behind them to try to break the gap between themselves during this stage of the race. There you see a little bit of a swerve right there by Ryan Kuhn. You should ride on board with him. And they're closing in to the tail end of the lead lap.
And just another little shot there, and he holds it together. Trevor Edwards, Ryan Kuhn, Chase Pierce, Josh Connell, and Aaron Johnson, the top 5, by the way. Updates of some drivers starting to climb back through the field. Tripiano up to 6th. Wilson right behind him. They had problems earlier. Don't forget also James Pileski 13th. Braxton DeWeese is now got back in the top 15. All of this going on as 100 laps go up on the scoreboard. We're ready for the final 50. We got a car going the wrong direction. He's going northbound in a southbound lane, and he's rolling down the train tracks. Jamie Graham, and the caution's out. Graham out in the 199, who brought out the first caution of the feature, puts out the caution on lap 101. And here you go, a triple-digit car in triple-digit numbers. Contact had some help from the 25. And this is when we started to realize you're going backwards down the racetrack with cars coming at you.
Yeah,
and
with
no
the tough break.
were harmed after the contact with Scott Bryant there, Taylor.
Yeah, but it was right in front of your race leaders briefly, as we'll get a ride on board with the 199 and Jamie Graham. And you'll see how close the leaders got in this situation. It was not a good opportunity for them as they worked their way into the corner. There you see the 25 of Bryant make the contact, and get a look at another angle. There's the leaders right there.
Well, there you go. Let's get one more look at it before we bring out the choose cone. The choose car by popular demand. Watch this one more time. Understanding we're going to change cameras as soon as you see this guy get turned around here. And hopefully we can show you the choose car. Here comes Brian. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's how good we are. All right, choose car, where are you? You back out there again, my friend? Let's see if
he's
you
making
can
his way
join
out there.
us. He is on the track now. The choose car, by popular request, is back. So far, nobody has hit the choose car. And where is he?
He's
On the
off
back
two.
straightaway. There he is. He says, I'm here. I'm fashionably late, but I'm here. And the drivers will go inside and outside with the choose car. I like on board with a choose car. I like that one. All right. Well, Ryan Kuhn has fell back to 3rd. Aaron Johnson showing some strengths. Andy Tripiano taking advantage of the choose rule to put himself back in the top 5 along with Chase Pierce. So the lights are off on the pace car. It'll be 45 laps to go. Taylor Burris, would you bring us back to the green flag start, my friend, out of turn 4?
As we see Benny, the pace truck driver, make the hard left turn down on the pit road. Barney, the flag man, will wave the green flag. We're back racing here in Oxford, and already down to the inside. Trevor Edwards will hold that inside lane against Aaron Johnson, who tries to get the outside lane working as they're 3 wide, a little further back down to double file as they work off of turn number 4. But Trevor Edwards, with clean air advantage, tries to hold on to the race lead.
Yeah, somehow, some way, 3 wide racing finally settles back down to 2 by 2 to a single file. And they're going to get aggressive, no doubt about it, as Edwards holds them off for the restart. Ryan Kuhn back to P2. He's got Pierce, Cottle, Johnson, your top cinco as cars get loose. Sideways, hold on to it there. Bladen Edwards, dirt tracking it. Here's contact. He spins to the back straightaway. He got help. He slams into one. Oh, wow, coming at you. Boy, is he ticked off. Is that DeWeese? Braxton DeWeese off course. And the caution is out. Oh, my goodness, have you ever? What a camera angle.
No, I've never. Tempers flaring here today as we see, oh, airtime by the 15, and Wesley, I have to get that landing in 8.
That camera angle was just awesome, man. I can't believe. Wow, that's that. I've seen 2 highlight reels that you could use for promotion for commercials for LSRTV iRacing broadcast tonight. That was one of them right there. Wow, look at DeWeese fly through the air on the replay. Oh, my. It just seemed like DeWeese and the 072, nobody was going to budge Taylor Burris, and they just wrecked each other. They just said,
Yeah.
DeWeese and
I mean,
Edwards just said, "I'm not going to back off. Neither are you. We're gonna go to the Ant Mounds if you don't mind."
Yeah, we're going to take a little bit of a sky-high trip here today. I mean, it's under 40 laps to go. No one's going to be given an inch here out of these drivers who are outside the top 5 for the moment. They're going to be battling as hard as they can to get every single position that they got left in them before this checkered flag falls.
Hey, by the way, don't forget tomorrow, coverage of iRacing on LSRTV has one more race for the 2022 season, and that is the main sim racing series, and that will be tomorrow night at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. I'll be coming in hot, and a special guest joining me in the broadcast booth tomorrow night as well. Familiar voice of many, many years of the past. But I'll be coming in hot from doing CRN Sports broadcast coverage of the basketball tournaments for Christmas, including the John Wall Holiday Invitational second round semifinals of the third place bracket. Tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time between North Pitt and Clayton. And then we've got Clayton versus Rocky Mount for the semifinals for the championship. Wednesday night, 5:30 Eastern Time, Community Radio Network, wearecrn.com. You saw our promo. And if you're in the Triangle of North Carolina, 87.9 FM on your radio dial. We look forward to bringing it to you tomorrow. Derek Lange, Will Chalk, and myself. Well, the radio dial, Charles, you got 87.9. You put in your little radio dial, punch in 87.9. Well, back in the day, you had your radio dial. You turned it, you know, like your AM radio. Taylor, you realize we're older than Charles, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Here we go. Let's go back to green. 35 laps to go in a shootout here at Oxford Plains. And these last 2 or 3 restarts are pretty darn exciting. And they're not done yet. Hitting into the back straightaway, 2 and 3 wide. Look at it. Much more calm than the last time, no doubt.
A lot calmer indeed. The drivers here are trying to just poke and prod their way through around the circuit here. Coming up now for 40 laps to go as one car goes around on the back straightaway. That's Scott Bryant again.
Oh, bye. And the caution's going to come out here. Oh, wow. Here you go, the 25, Scott Bryant. What is he been involved in? 3, 4 cautions already? Or at least started some?
Started some, been some.
Remember I said wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off? Yeah, it's him. Win some, lose some. Oh, boy, look at him fight his way. Look at Brady Cox. The final shot there to slam Bryant into the outside wall. And what does that say? Shenandoah Moonshine?
Shenandoah Shine.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think it says Shenandoah Moonshine on the side of the 25 car. Shenandoah Shake? Is that what it says? Oh, well. Here we go. Here's a look at your replay. Phenomenal job, by the way.
Already with this race, we already have 3.
I was going to say, Taylor, by the way, they are bragging about Braxton DeWeese. Takes a lick and keeps on ticking. And he is still fighting with Bladed Edwards in the top 15, 13th and 14th. They're trying to get back to the front.
They're going to try to do their best. They got a lot of work to do here, but as they come to take it here to get the 1 to go, 30 laps left to go. There you see the 15 of Braxton DeWeese. It has been beaten and battered, war-torn indeed, but he's still in the fight.
Here comes the choose car by popular demand. Da, 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 da. Okay, that was too much.
A little bit, I have to say.
I'm just trying to give the choose car some love. Yes, sir. Look at this. Inside, outside. And I believe there is a penalty, by the way, Taylor, if you hit the choose car. Because if you hit the car can sustain damage. And when we first saw the debut of the choose car about a year or so ago, people were just hitting it like it was in the funny papers. They didn't care. They knocked it around, punched it around. You can't do that now. You hit that choose car, you suffer a penalty. Well,
you certainly do, of course. It's not a good thing. I was saying it's not a good thing if you hit that car, period.
He is Taylor Burris. I'm Wesley Outland, and we're ready to go with under 30 laps to go at Oxford Plains for the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series. Thanks to Cameron Ruggles for having us back on iRacing on LSRTV. The band back together. Restart, contact in the back. Hold it together, guys. We're closing in on the final 25 laps of this race. And all the while, Edwards is the man leading, but for how long? And look at this great battle going on again. Trupiano, Russo, Grout, Hamlet fighting at it again like they're in the funny papers.
They certainly are beating and banging. Wally Wilson having a ride of his life a few moments ago here as Chase Pierce gave him the chrome horn to move him up the racetrack. And now he's going to start falling like a rock on that outside lane. He's fighting hard with the 78 of Aaron Johnson as they go side by side down into the middle of turn 3.
And something happened on the restart to Braxton DeWeese. He has lost 3 spots. He was right in the pack of that battle. And now he has fell all the way back to 14th, 15th. Trying to get back in this fight now as we watch now Wilson going after it with Brandon Wilkinson. Bladen Edwards. Remember, Bladen Edwards and Braxton DeWeese were racing hard earlier. And now as we approach under 25 to go, they are now starting to climb.
They're starting to work their way up through the field here as they work their way through. Only a couple cars going to go side by side as they try to get around Wally Wilson. But for everyone else, single file as we draw to the conclusion. Wally Wilson goes for a slide in front of the field.
Wally Wilson, Carter Russo also on the binders to check up and miss those cars. Still keeps the green lights on as they come to the line. 20 laps to go. All this
Trouble
going
on the back
on. Look
straightaway.
who's up
Peyton
there.
Howell around.
Yep. No yellow flag yet. We stay green. Wow. There's the yellow. Yellow's out now, but oh, you saw it break loose though. Howell going around. Oh, contact there. Oh, wow. Yeah, Taylor, you've seen it happen over there, and I mean, little damage on the left front, but other than that, I think he might be okay if he can pull away here.
He seems like nothing too severe. He's got that nose crumpled up quite a bit. Other than that, I mean, he should be good enough to make up some ground here.
So the baby shark, Peyton Howell, having problems now, putting us under the yellow flag. Bladen Edwards, also from Pensacola, Florida, starting to climb into the top 10 again. Let's set it up for you now as we're under 20 laps to go, by the way. Let's take a look at the weather conditions real fast on the bottom right, presented by Kaufman Creative. I want to look at the weather conditions, and to be honest with you here, it hasn't changed much, honestly. It's about pretty much the same. If anything, it's 4 degrees warmer virtual air temp than it was, but the track temp's the same, the wind speed's the same, and we've been cloudy/sunny all day long in this event here so far, Taylor.
We certainly have no change whatsoever. Track is still hot and slick out there for these drivers. We've been seeing them slide around all night long here, and with under 20 laps to go, these drivers have got to find that little extra grip here in order to make it to the end.
And the summary on the bottom left of the monitor so far as we approach under 20 remaining, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast summary. In yellow, 8 cautions. In yellow, 45 laps of 150 under yellow, of 133 actually, and there's been only 2 lead changes. That's been it. Yep, here we go, ready for the restart. And I'll be honest with you here, this has been a fairly entertaining race, Taylor. Usually you're used to seeing wreck fests and green caution, green caution. We've had our share of green cautions, but for the most part, these guys have been up on the wheel. They've been aggressive. And as I said, as we get ready for the restart with 15 laps to go, this is a single file racetrack. It's dubbed that way. To go 2, 3, 4 wide, you got to be aggressive. You got to be willing to go for those opportunities to move your man or woman out of the way to go for a shot to win here at Oxford Plains Speedway.
Certainly do. As we go ahead and go back, green flag racing here, under 20 laps to go, making 15 to go for your drivers. And Trevor Edwards has been the class of the field already. But will Ryan Kuhn answer the call to continue his ways of dominance here in the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series?
Out on Chase Pierce into the number 3 spot, down to the inside, making the pass on Wilkinson. Hamlet, remember Hamlet problems in the race, and we got a caution out again. Yellow flag, Bryant, and another caution again.
Shenandoah Shine Machine of Scott Bryant in trouble once again here for the, I think, 5th time now tonight.
He's been involved in a lot of them. Who got into him? Did Jake Grout get into him this time? Well, he was kind of roughing up with James Pileski. Yeah, oh, wow. He said, I'm not having any of it. And Jake Grout said, yeah, buddy, let me do. Hey, how low can you go? You ever heard of limbo? Well, let's see how far you can go down the hill.
Well, the good news is he kept it out of the wall, so he didn't go that low. Clipped the pace truck, though. And he had a heart attack right there.
Yeah, the limbo conga line, how low can you go? How far down into the hill and the mountain mounds can you go on the back straightaway before we finally have you disappear? And another yellow flag. By the way, it'll be probably less than 10 laps to go when they settle in for the restart here. Coming up, it is the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race show. Analysis and interviews with all of the drivers. Coming up next, we got to settle this one here, though. Double file restarts, 10 laps to go. The opportunity for green-white checker overtime if need be. And Edwards is on the loud pedal. Ruggles is on the outside. Ruggles in second. Kuhn powers back to the bottom. He'll carry wingman Pierce with him like Top Gun Maverick. Look out. Rooster, Maverick, Hangman. Is Ruggles off turn 4 and 9 to go.
Watching on here and seeing who is going to come out on top with this battle to the finish here as they work down the back straightaway. There you see the 52 of Ruggles trying to hold off Wilkinson. Wilkinson gets right on the back bumper off turn number 4. Can't get that chrome horn put to use yet. He gets even closer as they head off of turn 2.
Single digits now, under 10 laps remaining, 8 to go now. It's Edwards leading, Kuhn in second. This is Ruggles now, trying to get back to Pierce for third on the podium. Working their way into the corner into 1 and 2. All the while, it is Trevor Edwards from the invert of 11. He started on the pole. He's not looked back. He's at the home stretch if he can hold on. 6 to go at the line.
Working their way out of turn 1 and 2. Ryan Kuhn trying to find the opening he needs as they work down the back straightaway. Chase Pierce ready to make an attack if the opportunity opens up for himself as they come out of turn number 4. The big high five from Barney the Flagman. 5 laps to go.
5 laps remaining here. It is go time at the Plains. Who's going to be there in the end? Right now, Trevor Edwards hitting his marks, but looking inside, looking outside. Ryan Kuhn, Chase Pierce ready to lick his chops and pounce on him like a coiled cobra. Can't get there. 4 to go to the back straightaway with Edwards leading him to 3.
He's looking to the inside, tries to show the nose a little bit, ready to utilize that chrome horn to be put you to use here in the closing stages. You're right on board with Ryan Kuhn as he tries to find the opening down into turn 3, tries to get up underneath. The caution comes out. Braxton DeWeese around.
Caution. Wow, DeWeese goes around. Braxton DeWeese, the number 15. Beaten, battered, bandaged, bruised, destroyed, tattered, torn. Whatever analogy you can use to describe the verbology of that 15 machine. And he's still in the dogfight, but he just puts out the caution here. And there's, 21, a Carter Russo bouncing off the passenger side of Hamlet's car. And the Jeff Schmidt Camaro 15 puts us under yellow flag. It's kind of funny. It's like Two-Face, the car for Braxton DeWeese, Taylor. One side of the car looks fairly clean, the right side. The driver's side just looks like it's just tore up from the floor up.
It certainly is going to be a little bit of a... Thankfully, it's a virtual car, so all he has to do is come back next week, and he'll be pretty much good as new for the most part.
and we get ready for overtime. If I remember correctly, I believe they get 2 attempts.
3 attempts.
At a green-white checker. 3 attempts. Okay, my apologies. 3 attempts. 3 attempts at a green-white checker. Boy, oh boy. Well, Taylor, your first foray with LSRTV and with the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock E-Series as you get ready to ring in the new year. Did this race not disappoint, my friend?
It has late model racing for this series never disappoints, and they have put on a show. When you have a star-studded cast coming in here to race, you have definitely nothing to worry about but to bring in great racing, great performances, and great, even though there is some tempers flaring, it's short track racing, you still have a lot of great respect amongst a lot of the head top drivers in this class.
And we'll see how that all transpires here as the first of 3 attempts at a green-white checker is coming up here. Trying to determine the finish of this race. Ryan Kuhn, Trevor Edwards, Chase Pierce, Cameron Ruggles, Brandon Wilkinson in the top 5. They get ready to go at it here for the restart. The lights are off on the pace truck. Remember, we get another caution before they take the white. We set them up, re-rack them, restack them 2 more times. Caution falls to the white flag of the Siren, 1 to go. Racing back to the line. Checkers or wreckers race is official. Ready for the restart. And it's Edwards again getting tag teamed down by Pearson Kuhn. And he still holds them off as they go to turn number 3. He'll take the white flag of the Siren, 1 to go.
That makes it official right here. And how about this? Chase Pierce being very aggressive on the inside. He'll move up to P2 as Ryan Kuhn falls back to 4th.
Final time into turn number 3. Invert the 11. Going to heaven at Oxford Plains is Trevor Edwards. He wins as they're crashing across the finish line. Big crash as they cross the line. Trevor Edwards will hold off Ryan Kuhn, Chase Pierce, and others to win here at Oxford Plains. And a wild finish. Maybe we can show you the last lap coming to the start-finish line where all chaos broke loose. But there he is, man, on the invert, the 11 Ford GT of Trevor Edwards, hanging on there till the end of a 155-lap race. And here is the final lap here, Taylor, where obviously Trevor Edwards takes the checkered flag. All chaos ensues as they come to the checkered flag behind the leader.
As they do come behind the leader, there you see the chaos right here. Ryan Kuhn, as well as the 56 of Brandon Wilkinson, the 52 of Cameron Ruggles, battling hard. Ruggles pushing Ryan Kuhn up the racetrack and causes a little bit of chaos there. You see the 93 go around of James Pileski as that incident happens as they cross the start-finish.
And it totally cattywampus the rundown of the field, as obviously Ruggles was in the hunt, so was Kuhn. Wilkinson then gets up in there along with Pierce, and when it's all said and done, the Ford number 032 of Trevor Edwards. And remember, Trevor, he had problems in qualifying, had to finally go out, probably one of the last 2 cars to take time, put himself on an invert as 11th, got the invert number of 11, put him on the pole, and he does not look back as he takes the checker flag here tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway. Here is your here is your finishing results from LiveSimRacingTV.com. Trevor Edwards is the winner. Chase Pierce is second. Brandon Wilkinson is third. Ryan Kuhn fourth. Cameron Ruggles, a solid run for him. He'll still finish in the top 5. Pileski crashing, still finishes 6th. Johnson 7th. Trupiano, if you wanted to give him a goodies hard luck charger of the race, it would have to be Trupiano in the 8 car. Wally Wilson would be probably second candidate, and Josh Cottle will finish in the top 10 here tonight at Oxford Plains.
Coming home in 11th will be Bladen Edwards, followed by Peyton Howell in 12th position. Matthew Elsley Jr. in 13th. Eli Valentine in 14th with Jake Grout in 15th. 16th, Braxton DeWeese with Carter Russo in 17th. 18th is Scott Bryant. Hard Luck Award definitely goes for him. Peyton Hamlet, the last car on the lead lap, in 19th. And Jamie Graham rounds out 20th.
Brady Cox will finish 21st, Deegan Smith 22nd, J.J. Chansey. Pretty interesting day for him as well. James Holzer and Preston DeMello, which, by the way, is not a race car. He is the choose car. Got to give him an honorable mention for his efforts in this race as well. By the way, our race coverage presented by Kaufman Creative. When you need a quality website at a reasonable price, Kaufman Creative is the place to go. From small sim racing leagues to the NASCAR teams, let Brandon Kaufman and his crew take care of you as always. And coming up next is the Press Box Motorsports Podcast. Remember, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast is the official new podcast of LSRTV, coming to all platforms on Facebook and YouTube Live starting in 2023. And remember, you can tune in and join the discussion as we talk about the latest hot topics and replays on all podcast outlets available as well. We're back in a moment from Oxford Plains. Trevor Edwards wins tonight. We got him interviewing him next.
Straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really win it, then battle. Just battle. Only first place finishes, so I seek and destroy every one of my nemesis. My power limitless, and my scorecard is perfect, it don't have no blemishes. No apologies, cause I ain't you, it's just my nature that makes me a different type of creature. I'm a bitch, bonafide gamer. Before you play me, better read the disclaimer. I'm that force to be reckoned with. I know your mama didn't warn you, you shouldn't be messing with. You don't compare to me. We're not the same, there's no similarity. Moment of clarity, you should be scared of me. Run all, you'll never get rid of me. So incredibly outdone. If we go to war, I'm the one you can't outrun. Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one.
Welcome back to iRacing on LSRTV and the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series. Wrap it up here tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway. Taylor Burris, Wesley Outlet, Charles Booten in the production. And, of course, next week it's off to Martinsville. But we got to wrap things up here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. It is time for the Motorsports Podcast recap here. And we're going to grab more of the top three drivers of this event. A crazy finish, 11, the invert for Trevor Edwards, and when it's all said and done, the win goes to the driver of the number 32, holding off the hungry field of competitors to get the win here at here at the Oxford Plains Speedway as Martinsville is coming up. But again, it's presented by the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race show. And remember, coming to you in January 2023 on all podcast outlets and, of course, Facebook and YouTube Live on LSR TV. So, Brandon Wilkinson, a very interesting race. It was fun. It was exciting. I thought it was a pretty entertaining race for these late models here tonight at Oxford Plains. You finished on the podium in third, your take of this event, and surviving a pretty wild last overtime finish as well.
Yeah, I was pretty drunk, honestly. So I'm glad you guys thought it was fun. I'm sure Trevor and Ryan put on a good show, but yeah, we were drunk. I didn't know why. I felt like I was running on a treadmill. I just wasn't going anywhere. And then I pit, and I didn't see any damage. And we had 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So come to find out that I guess hitting the curb gives you engine damage, and that kind of seals the deal for us. So yeah, we were good, and then we were drunk all of a sudden, but we got pretty lucky there with one of the cone restarts, and yeah, that's about it.
Taylor, got a question for Brandon Wilkinson. He finished third on the podium, buddy.
Well, for Brandon, of course, I mean, you had a lot of things to overcome as well. I mean, what was the focus of trying to overcome some of the chaos that ensued around you? Because there was a couple of close calls that you had to deal with out there.
Yeah, I think it's always easier when you're kind of racing for wins, racing for fun, and not having to worry about anything. So last week was my first week, and then obviously this week. So I was just kind of didn't really worry about anything, and if something happened, it happened. So I think sometimes that can kind of help you out there. That's kind of why. I mean, I think I was 7th or 8th there, took the cone, restarted 2nd, got a pretty lucky caution there, restarted 5th, and then obviously we ended up 3rd. So yeah, just super lucky. We were junk, like absolute junk. So we'll try to be better at Martinsville next week. It's a really good track for me. So
yeah, I was going to say,
come back and try to be good.
Sorry, buddy. I was going to say, getting ready for the paperclip, no doubt. Obviously, what do you take from tonight to prepare for a racetrack on a half mile, and segue that and thanking your sponsors as well. 3rd place tonight.
Yeah, I mean, other than the damage, my right front was pretty concerning. So obviously next week that'll be a bigger problem at Martinsville. So we'll try to be a little bit easier on it there early on. But yeah, obviously super lucky 3rd place tonight. But thanks to everybody at the Posse and Epic Media, obviously Cameron and you guys for the broadcast in the league. It's a fun place to race. So really look forward to come back every week now.
It's awesome to be back with you guys again. Brandon Wilkinson, car number 56. He'll finish 3rd here tonight at Oxford Plains. Chase Pierce, he finishes 4 spots in the number 2 spot. Crazy last lap. 2nd place. Man, your take of this race. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, qualified in the 6th spot, and then didn't really get anything out of the invert. Still starting in the 6th spot after the invert, and could not get anywhere starting on the top there. Fell back to maybe 10th, 12th, somewhere in there, and having to battle up through the chaos and then got up to 3rd finally, and trying to keep up with Edwards and Kuhn. They were really fast and hard to keep up with. Then they managed their tires a little better, started to pull away there at the end of that one long run, and just having to fight on the restarts towards the end. It was a lot of fun and kind of chaotic, but kept the nose clean and able to come out with 2nd.
Walk us through that final lap, though, Chase. I mean, you were right there in the mix, though, at the end. You had the opportunity, and you utilized the chrome horn on Ryan Kuhn. Do you feel like maybe that there could be some payback and a rivalry forming for this season here between you and Ryan Kuhn?
To have a rivalry with Kuhn, that would be pretty amazing. I think he's one of the fastest guys on the sim, but I don't know. I mean, I've never been afraid to use the bumper, especially short track racing. You have to points racing. It's tough field. I'm always going to do what it has to take to get an extra spot.
I would have to elaborate more to that if you want to segue to this. Also, Chase Pearson, thanking your sponsors that when you go into overtime and it's to the home stretch, all bets are off. You've got to use the bump and run.
Yeah, 100%, especially in a tight field like this. It's vital.
All right, man. Before we let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors on that 07 card.
Oh, yeah. Top Hat Comics, Premier Racing Setups, OSR Network, Fanatec, Red's Donuts. You guys for the great broadcast, Ruggles for the great league, Crown Jewel Sports, everybody, this whole crew working on the league and broadcast.
Yeah, great job there. Chase Pierce, the 07, will finish in the number 2 spot. The invert was 11. Qualifying problems set him back in that final last chance before the clock ran out. He was able to put it in the number 11 spot. The invert again was 11, and when it was said and done, it put him on the pole. and he goes to victory lane. And he had to fight for it, no doubt about it, in the race that Taylor and myself called here tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway. Victory lane, Trevor Edwards, congratulations, man. Wow, what a comeback for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I barely got on in time. I was having some computer issues, and actually, like, my graphics were a little bit messed up during that race. It was leaving, like, smoke particles on the track every time someone spun, so that was a little weird, but maybe I'll have to leave them. They seem to be, like, decent look, I guess.
Well, walk us through, of course, fresh air. You started towards the back half of the field with qualifying, but with the invert, you had that fresh, clean air. Was that the way to help keep you up towards the front of the field?
Yeah, 100%. No, there's no way that I probably would have won this race if I would have started 11th. I knew Kuhn was probably a lot faster, especially on entry through center. He was a rocket ship, so I just kind of focused on making sure that I had to drive off so he couldn't get a run down the back stretch or front stretch. And I knew he's a really super clean racer, so I knew he wasn't going to move me out of the way or anything stupid. You know, early on, a couple laps to go, might be a different story, which I would have understood. But, you know, just kind of one of those things, just make sure I hit my marks. I probably missed the bottom 2 or 3 times. I got really lucky with a caution, or he would just miss the line just a little bit too, so it would let me continue to lead. So, I don't know. I got lucky tonight.
I'll tell you what, Trevor, her first off, man, the driver out of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. Hopefully you had a great Christmas with the wife and the babies and everything. Great holiday with the kids, and obviously that's got to be great to have a great Christmas on the weekend, and then come here tonight and win here tonight, holding off all these other competitors on the invert to win. And this race at Oxford Plains, no doubt, this has got to be a tricky place for you.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, feel like I've been up front in every Crown Jewel race I've ran this season, and then just something disastrous would happen with 5 or 10 to go. I think I've run top 5 every time except, you know, and then just get crashed or get caught up in something or just a stupid mistake. So this is really cool to get. This is my first Crown Jewel win, thanks to Cameron, because he's put this league on, and it's gotten better each and every week, which is really cool to see. But man, yeah, and then beating Ryan at Ryan's house, essentially, you know what I mean? So that was kind of cool.
Yes. I was going to say that because you had a feeling the bump and run was coming, the crazy finish was coming. He ended up finishing 4th and 5th when it's all said and done behind Kuhn and Ruggles. But, you know, like you said, the ingredients were there to have a Ryan show at his house, and you held him off. I was just going to say, with you being a native out of Kentucky in the Bluegrass State, we are getting some of that Arctic cold that you are famous for this time of the year in North Carolina. So to bring that cold air back up there, okay? We don't need this cold air in North Carolina anymore. It's cold. I think it's cold down in Florida as well. It got down in the 20s during Christmas.
It was -30 for me on Christmas Day. The coldest I've ever been in my life. So, yeah, I'm glad it's coming. I think it's like 30 degrees outside today, so it felt like summer. But, yeah, it's really cool to beat Ryan at probably his best track on the sim. Like I said, he was faster, but, you know, just no mistakes is what led to this.
Hey, I tell you what, Taylor, you got anything else for the winner, Trevor, before we wrap it up, buddy?
Well, for Trevor, I mean, all I got to say is good luck to you here at next week at Martinsville, and what can we expect from you there?
That is my, I'm not going to call it my house, but that is my favorite racetrack on the sim by far, so I'm looking forward to that. I wasn't looking forward to tonight, so what'll probably happen is I'll probably get wrecked there on lap 2 or something, but it is my favorite racetrack for sure.
Well, I will say, in your rebuttal, Oxford, Maine virtually is all up on the other side of the U.S. near Canada. You've got Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, so that might be right in your backyard besides Bristol. So, yes, go get them.
Yeah, this is a virtual much shorter drive for me to get to Martinsville than it is Oxford.
All right, man. Anybody want to thank sponsor-wise?
I got to thank Jacob Hayes over at Rocket iRacing Ramps. He's the one who came up with this scheme. It's only probably the second time I've ran it. I love it. This purple just pops. Everybody at the shop, you know, Josh Cottle, Hayes, you know, everybody that's over there that gets this thing going, and then McConey Setup Shop. Just got to thank everybody that supports me.
From Shepherdsville, Kentucky, again, a big win here tonight, holding off Ryan Kuhn and others. It is the driver, of course, of Mr. Trevor Edwards picking up the win. I would be hard-pressed to say, Charles, can we bring in Cameron Ruggles? Cameron, it's so good to run into you again. We ran into each other about 2 weeks ago at the Race of Champions at Carteret County Speedway. You recognized my voice by just going down in the pits and talking with Doug Barnes while working on announcer prep, and you said, hey, dude, didn't you do this series? And we need to come back. We need you back, and we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to have LSRTV back this season. Last season, we weren't doing too good on the car count side and, with the late model stocks. So I kind of dialed back at the beginning of this season to try to get the racing product better before I put it on, mainstream. And, I talked with you, like you said, in real life. And, you were nothing but, respectful for, and, a fan, if anything. And that made me more than anything want to come back. So, honestly, if that conversation hadn't happened, we wouldn't have been back until next season, but you definitely pointed me in the right direction.
Well, I'll tell you what, hands down, it was a very, very good race. Charles, you want to add more to that with Cameron?
Actually, I was just going to make a dumb comment and say, Morgan, what's his name? Thank Wesley for turnip greens and sweet tea or something. That's some country song. I don't know.
Thank God for good directions and turnip greens. Is that what you're talking about?
That's what we're going.
Well, Cameron, real quickly, before I let Taylor ask you a question about this series, what is some things that are yet to come for the Crown Jewel E-Late Model Stock Car Series? I see that it's already evolved since the last time we worked with you guys last year. The last time we did a series race with you, I noticed that there's like penalties. You hit the choose car, you get put in the back, or you get suspended a race. There's a lot of things that might have been taken as a joke that you guys enforce, and it has made this racing very exciting for sure.
Yeah, I definitely had to put my foot down on some things because people just weren't coming back because of the product that we had at first. Like, at first I was just letting everybody show up and race because I wanted cars, but, that didn't work. So I kind of dialed back the car count, Then, this season everybody wanted to go to the Super because we had 70 signups in the first 2 days. So if that tells you anything about the want to drive this car, I had way better luck with Caleb this offseason with coming up with a better rule book. So me and him definitely worked really hard this offseason to make sure everything was in order so that we didn't have any problems like we did last season. So hopefully all the problems are between the drivers. God forbid we have any, but it's not going to be on my end where the problems are going to be this season.
Well, Taylor, I just caught something. They're going to have to rechange the name to the Crown Jewel ESLM series because it's no longer late model stock cars. We've been giving hashtag fake news all night.
We certainly have, I have to say. But, Cameron, I guess the biggest thing is, what can we expect for the future for this amazing championship series?
See, now we have every season the Virginia Triple Crown that we will keep going forward to make sure that we give everybody a chance to race that prestigious event. Everybody in here kind of races in real life, but there's a select few that don't even get an opportunity to race a go-kart. So we're giving them a shot to race virtually instead of in real life, of course. Just the late model stock isn't completely out of the question. We're just kind of waiting on the new car to drop with iRacing. We've been hearing rumors about it for seasons, and I was hoping it was kind of going to drop and then we were going to go back to it, but the Super is kind of the closest thing to a real-life late model stock car, drivable-wise, maybe not power ratio, but just in that aspect. So I kind of wanted to put on what was closest to real life, considering we're doing the real life events with the Virginia Triple Crown. And, the races this season don't have names behind them just because I didn't want to overpopulate the events, because if 40 people are doing, the Oxford 250 or, the Snowball Derby, it loses pristine. So I want to give people a place to race at these same tracks, but, just not in real life. That's all what we're about here.
I will say, though, as somebody that has announced all of these prestigious races, I will add another one on my bucket list. Crown Jewel in 2023 has been on the Flow Racing broadcast team for the Hampton Heat 200 late model race in July at Langley Speedway. But being at South Boston, being at Martinsville, being at Langley, I think it's pretty darn cool that you can have these real Crown Jewel, late model stock car, Virginia Triple Crown events going on, and you've got somehow now the virtual sim events for this series to do it. Somehow, some way, Cameron, I think we need to get in touch with Clay Campbell at Martinsville, with the powers that be at South Boston. I know Kathy Rice used to be up there earlier, and I think it's Justin Shears now at South Boston, but no doubt Bill Mullis and Chuck Hall and the relationship I have with them at Langley. We need to figure out some kind of way to bring this sim Virginia Triple Crown into the real Triple Crown and find a way to get some notoriety, maybe get some prestige, maybe bring the Virginia Triple Crown sim champion to Martinsville during the Valley Star 300 to get a chance to maybe get a miniature grandfather clock or something of that bragging rights to make it be special for them, no doubt.
And that's absolutely something I'm willing to look into and talk to anybody about. Actually, last season I was going to buy a little miniature clock and send it out, but then we never raced it because of some issues that we had at the end of the season. So, but this season, I don't really have any plans as far as that. But I mean, any ongoing plans, I'm definitely willing to talk to anybody that wants to partner up and do some bigger stuff outside of this. I mean, I go to Langley almost every other week because that's one of my local tracks. Martinsville, I'm there with Doug every year. Air Doug, shout out to Air Doug because he employs me.
By the way, off the record, felt so bad for him at Carteret County for what happened to him at the Race of Champions. It was so heartbreaking.
It definitely is what it is. We had a good weekend nonetheless. We still have the victory lane pictures, and the video came out great. So we got what we wanted. It sucks that we didn't get the result, but you know, we still feel like we won that race. But I definitely appreciate you guys coming back for the rest of the season and all events going forward. Wesley, of course, Taylor, and Charles. You know, and all my guys over at Crown Jewel with Caleb, Ryan, and all my admins that filled in this week with Caleb being out of town, and just of course all my guys on my car, Davis Body Shop, and there's one more, Birch Farms. There we go. So hopefully we can do good next week at Martinsville for you guys.
A solid top 5 for them when it's all said and done. Thank you, Cameron Ruggles, for your time. And that will wrap up what is the Motorsports official Motorsports podcast show on iRacing on LSRTV. It launches on Facebook and YouTube live in 2023. All podcast outlets will also be available for the replay. Taylor Burris, it's awesome to have the Crown Jewel E Super Late Model Series back. Notice I didn't say Late Model Stock Car Series at Oxford Plains. It was a good show. Good to be back on iRacing on LSRTV. Good working with you for the first time ever, man. Hope you had a great Christmas. Getting ready for a happy new year in 2023. Your final take of tonight's race, and we wrap it up here.
It was exciting to come on board here with LSRTV, one of the longest tenured streaming services here on the iRacing platform. Great to come on board to help work with you guys in the future, and ain't no telling to see when next time. But of course, get for me a couple of more days off before we head on down to Homestead, Miami to kick off the SCUSA Winter Tour.
He sounds like he is about as busy as I am, as well as I've got the basketball tournaments going on. Racing tomorrow night. By the way, iRacing on LSRTV. Final send-off of the 2022 season before 2023, and that will, of course, be tomorrow night at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for the main Sim Super Late Model Series, coming back in 2023 as well. Hey, broadcast coverage one more time, presented by the Crown Jewel E Late Model Stock Car Series at Oxford Plains, is brought to you by the Press Box Motorsports Podcast, the official podcast of LSRTV, as I had just mentioned, and thanks also to Kaufman Creative. If you need a quality website at a reasonable price, Kaufman Creative is the place to go. From small to sim racing leagues to NASCAR teams, Brandon Kaufman has you covered. And we hope you enjoy us. We're back next week for the series at Martinsville. Tomorrow night, as I said, main sim racing from Nashville. If you don't tune in, have a happy new year. 2023, make it a better, a good one, a successful one. For Taylor Burris, I'm Wesley Outland. Thanks to Charles Wooten. Good night. Oxford Plains, Mr. Edwards, Trevor Edwards, winning here